So before we begin this video, I just want to say sorry for the long hiatus, roughly 3 months now. Real life gets in the way. This is not my full-time job, but there shouldn't be that much of a delay from now. I have a huge queue of videos lined up I just got to edit. In the meantime, here's the presentation on the 1959 Philco Predicta holiday. The 1959 Philco model G4242, aka the Predicta holiday. This utilizes the 9L37 hot chassis, and it is not the U variant because it does not have UHF. It's VHF only, this model. This was actually a gift for us from our friend Ashley and Calvin, and they scored it for 20 bucks, and I was amazed when they brought it here. I always wanted a Philco Predicta. There it was. Again, I'm sorry it took several years to get to it, but I'm on a roll now and things are coming along nicely in terms of restorations.
Well guys, we're running the Sencor CR7000 on it. Turns out this actually has the 21 FDP4 CRT in it, so it does not have the defective typical 2.3 volt Philco tube, which was a problem with these sets, as you will, if you're a collector, well know that. So turned it on. Heater filaments work fine, as you can see. Now I got the camera's light on. However, it was dead. Simple, the cathode went to sleep. I didn't hit it, I just ran it on the reactivate function. And check out those emissions now. I can't get it to go in the cutoff, but emissions are 100%. Everything's set correctly. So, very promising start already. Good CRT.
And then you might see other TV collectors use Beltron. I use a Sencor CR7000, and the setting I use is basically equivalent to the clean cycle on that. And the tube woke right up. It's holding. It's very bright. It's very sharp. So we're off to a good start. And before we get into the restoration of it, I'll give a quick overview of what's going on here. This is the final product right here. It's done. I can just say what's left on it. I'm missing some knobs. I am missing the contrast knob right here. I am missing the vertical knob. It's in the wrong place right now because the horizontal hold on this is rock steady. I set the coarse adjustment, I set the fine adjustment, and I haven't touched it since. It's perfect. So I moved this up here for now because the vertical is sensitive to tweaking the vertical height and linearity because they all interact with each other. But other than that, that's working fine too. Top knob is your brightness. And I'll eventually, in a second, I'll go over what the common problems are of these TVs. In the back, I do have the back with replacement screws because they were only like 2 or 3 or 4, I can't remember. They were actually mismatched and wrong. No modifications have been done to this TV. I'm simply using RF with a 75 to 300 ohm twin lead balun. This is the original antenna leads from the built-in antenna. This is your local distance switch for your AGC control. Original power cord is still good. I got the back all polished up. Back covers on. I am missing one of the screws. Once I get the right ones, I may replace them. In the meantime, it's on there. It's good. Now, one of the common things that may be wrong with these sets is the missing built-in antenna. Somehow, despite the very rough shape I got this when the TV when it was in, there's the original antenna. And I tried bending it back. I don't want to mess with it too much right now, but yeah, the original antenna is in good shape. What I have observed is those that have put replacement antennas on, they're usually just sitting here on the side like this. Since mine is indeed the original, I can push it back into the TV. So yeah, backing up, that's when I started, December 23rd, 2021. It was in pretty rough shape, just dirty mainly, but it looks pretty bad right there, especially the safety glass, which is just that tenite plastic. So there it is after removing the front. Pretty dirty inside, a lot of white mold. I got that all cleaned up. I mean, how long that's been not used, but yeah, there it is sitting there. You'll see it later in the video when I get it cleaned up. Now the flyback, all of the coating came off, and we're going to fix that later in the video. Some sensor safe RTV silicone. So that's what's going on right there. So that's my first look inside the chassis after cleaning it off. I'm going to loosen all of the wires and remove that board because you have to restore these. Notice all the bumblebee caps on there. I was going to wait till now while I'm restoring it. My restoration technique is different than everybody else's, and it's what works right for me. I look at it's beyond a repair, going into a restoration. I just test to make sure, the CRT is good, flyback's good, all the essential, like the yoke, everything tests good before I continue, so I don't hit a roadblock with that. And I just work on it section by section at a time. I do one component at a time, and I have to do it my way. I have to do what's comfortable for me. And yeah, as I may have mentioned, if not in this video, in previous ones, I can't multitask. So I'm basically either have to record like I'm doing now and summarize what I'm doing. This is after I re-resisted and replaced the capacitors on there, as you can see. I'm trying to build one of those couplets. It wasn't until later on I decided how often am I going to build, or should I say repair, a Philco Predicta. So I went with the TVRestoreGuy.com and got the couplets for the set. He makes them that look pretty close to what it looked like originally in the set, both color and dimensions. But I did build it at least, but I just didn't like how it looked at all. But that's the equivalent circuit in one of those couplet things, an early form of integrated circuitry. Now that is after I bought the couplets from TVRestoreGuy.com. Now that looks better. But guaranteed every one of those couplets are going to be bad, or if they do work, they're not going to last very long. Just replace them. Your goal is also to get it more reliable. That right there is your picture tube isolation. We'll get to that later in the video. Those resistors there came out of the tuner. Yeah, every one of them tested bad. There's one I'm going to show shortly that was twice its rated value. But the whole TV was like that. Only about 5 resistors tested acceptably. I changed them anyhow because I was already in there and had to lift the leg to test it. Yeah, here's a 47 k ohm reading 88 k ohms. Yeah, that was typical in this set. So I'm at the point now, I'm putting that board back in. This was after I already worked on the bottom of the chassis. I will show what I did later. I, again, simply forgot to record. I was all over the place. I'm going to try to improve my videos in the future so they're a lot more fluid like that, but this is just all over the place at the moment. All I'm trying to show now is use my wire wrapping tool, got it around all the pegs on there. I document where each wire needs to go and took pictures. What I'm showing there, I had a YouTube short on this. The original tube socket was damaged. One of the terminals was completely broken off. So that's a replacement. In order to get it in there, I had to very gently take a hammer and a screwdriver and very carefully get the seat in there, which I did, and no damage done. But there, it's wired in place. Jump ahead, that I'm just putting a heat lamp on the flyback to drive out any moisture. It's a vintage General Electric heat lamp holder, whatever, I don't know. Anyways, just drive out any moisture in the flyback before we coat it. Let that go for a few hours. And that I'm going to be changing later in the video. That's the solid state rectifier. So I use sensor safe RTV silicone. And yeah, it's kind of sloppy, but that's hard to work with. I read of some guys making a thing where they could dip it in hot wax and do it that way, but I don't have the means of doing so right now. So yeah, RTV silicone to seal it. That's right when I put it on, so it's kind of fresh right there. But you're not going to see that. It's going to be in the high voltage cage. Let's see. Mine does not have the jumper across that 1 megohm resistor there. Okay, solid state rectifier. I believe it was 2 germanium diodes. I say that because it could have been germanium or silicone according to Sam's. I'm going to say germanium, but anyhow, they both tested open, so the TV still wouldn't have worked. I replaced it with 2 3-amp diodes, and you could use 1 amp, but it's just the idea, it's a little bit more beefier, and that's what I had. Next, we're going to change the thermistor right here. Those are pretty much all going to be bad in these sets. That limits the inrush current on the heater filament string. So it's getting replaced with 2 Ametherm SL12 thermistors in series. The original one was 400 ohms hot, 11 ohms cold. That's roughly equivalent to that, give or take. And there's the original power resistor for the filaments. And it has the jumper in there for the 6.3 volt heater CRT. This right here is the RF choke going from the video output tube to the CRT cathode. It had a insulating sleeve around it, and it had a bunch of white mold in it. When I tried to take it off, I accidentally cut the coil on there, so it's replaced with an equivalent inductor, same DC resistance and same inductance values, which is what this is right here. So at 6.8 microhenries and about the same resistance value the Sam's calls out for. So that's it. I just soldered it like that because it has to use that terminal to connect it to the board. Put heat shrink around it. Be good to go from there. Alright, here's the flyback after a week of curing. So it's dry now. Ain't pretty, but it'll work. Also to note, when I was that white upside down U-shaped thing in the middle of the screen is a fusible resistor, 5.6 ohm, and I forget the amperage, but anyways, it's still good. It still tests good. I was taking resistance measurements from all the tube sockets to make sure they're okay. The ones that have highlighted in red, I confirmed were correct. This was just my initial going through. But yeah, I'm very thorough. I keep track of, make sure nothing's out of place. But I was saying about that fusible resistor, I have a replacement wire wound resistor and fuse holder shell if I ever need to replace it. But for the meantime, it works. It's right out in the open, so if it does go, it'll be easy to change. All right, testing tubes right now. Most of the tubes in the set were still original Philcos. A handful of them have been replaced. Horizontal output tube has been replaced already. It's by replaced with a Westinghouse brand. And the horizontal rectifier tube is still original to the set. So here we are testing the horizontal output tube. That tested fine. I think that one was the damper. There's a horizontal rectifier tube. Goes on the bottom scale because it's just a rectifier. Well, anyways, while I'm testing this, two of the tubes that were good were incorrect. They had the wrong voltage. TV calls for 3 BZ6. There's 4 BZ6 tubes in there. So, it being a series strong set, it would have been incorrect. Incorrect voltage for them, and probably messed up other things in series. Who knows what else, how this TV was behaving prior to. And I don't know what that was about right there, but I'm leaving it in. So yeah, while I'm just going through testing tubes, you get to see what's going on. See, all I was trying to say was my method of restoration is different. I approach it as it's, you know, I still test everything just to see how bad of condition things were in. Yeah, none of the electrolytics tested good. All the other type of caps were bad, of course. Tested all the resistors, and yeah, some were pretty bad, but again, of every resistor I changed, only about 5 were good. That tube had a short. I had to replace that tube. Yeah, it was intermittent, and then see the lights slightly glowing there. So I replaced that tube. I don't remember which one it is. Oh, it was in the tuner. There's one in the tuner. Really, felines? I guess we get to listen to that. What is going on behind me here? But yeah, I take a different approach, and people concerned about quote-unquote shotgunning it, no. I have my own method of doing things, and I never had a problem to date. I have to say what's comfortable for me. And however, my method probably won't work for a lot of people, and I don't care. I do this for me. Oh yeah, that tube there had a date code of 1970 on it. So this TV was at least in use until the 70s. See, the ones that were marginal like that, I mean, they're still good. I changed. So overall, there were, I think there were 4 tubes I changed. Again, 2 were the incorrect voltage, and the other 2, one had a short and one was weak. So that is the power switch. I had it apart to clean. Got all parts there, but it physically doesn't work correctly, so it does need replaced. I just ended up taking the 2 wires on there and wire nutting them together temporarily. That is the band that goes around the CRT shell. I believe right here I'm taking everything apart. Yeah. See, there's the CRT with nothing on it. It's a standard CRT. Any set could take it. Just the mounting band is, you know, adapted differently, so it sits on a little base like that. Wanted to clean inside there because it had some of that white mold all over it. Yeah, there's the last couplet right there. There's a TV restore guy. Oh yeah, mine was run 3, if you know what I'm talking about, for that 9L37 chassis. So there it is, replaced. And it's looking good. Also, the CRT, the wires weren't even around the little shield in there, the cardboard shield. So yeah, that's me. Just Clorox wipes everything. And CRT was all gunked up. Now it's spotless. Also from TV Restore Guy, the end plugs. The one on the left is the original, but I was missing a second one. So changed them both. Fresh new ones at that. Now, to polish this up, I simply use Novus Plastic Polish number 2. Yeah, it looks pretty bad right here. But that's after the fact. Novus 2, just I think about maybe a half hour. There's lots of dude noises going on behind me, and I'm trying to record for a video here. But yeah, that's after cleanup. Best I could get it anyways. Some of it was pretty deep. So there it is, reinstalled on the CRT. The CRT has been reassembled. Okay. Let's see, that was after I got the trim band around it and everything, and good to go. Yeah, there's some scratches on it I couldn't get out because they're pretty deep. But for the most part, it looks pretty good. There's not much else you can do with it. Oh, what I'm also trying to show right there, there is significant shrinkage. Look at that gap up there. That's because the tenite cover shrunk.
Now comes the time of the first power up. And to do that, Harley and I built this. He made the nice board and feet and bought all the parts, and I put it together. We didn't have any laying around, so I figured we'd go all out and make it nice. This is a dim bulb tester, and I made a little customized here. Both outlets are the same. This is your main power switch. To the left is dim bulb, to the right is full power. This is a 3-way. And the important thing is this is a hot chassis. One side of the power cord is tied directly to chassis ground. So one way could be okay if you're on neutral, the other way it would be hot. Either way, isolation transformer there. This will give a good indication if there are any problems. Okay. In person, that bulb is rather dim. It's just orange. And it's pretty much a soft start for it too. So it's not doing anything bad. Give it a minute. All right. No change here, so I'm gonna flick it on full power. Yep, there goes the horizontal oscillator. And we have raster. And it fills the screen horizontally completely. That's amazing. I wasn't expecting it to work this well upon first power up. But it works. So I guess now I'll get a signal to it and see what it's doing.
now I don't even know what channel it's set to, so let me flip through the box here. Looks like channel 4. Make sure. It might be 12, I don't know. I didn't even look at the tuner up front. But anyways, we got this going on. Looks like vertical is pretty close, but gotta do something with the horizontal. All right, so here it is. After getting a signal on, and I fiddled with the horizontal. I should have left it on recording while I was messing with the horizontal. The horizontal is just running way too slow. That's why I was whining quite a bit, but after turning the inside adjustment for the horizontal, basically the course adjustment, it moved quite a bit. Then I lost drive for a second, like I lost high voltage. I was like, oh crap, what happened here? And then I just kept going. I backed off till I got a picture again. I'm like, okay, and then I tuned it up again until I lost video or high voltage again, and then it came right back, and then there it was, it locked right in. It must have been set really too low. And then I got it so the user horizontal adjustments in the center, adjusted it off channel where it was just without any sync, and got that precise. As for, that's the horizontal width adjustment right there. As for the noise in the picture, it turns out I thought I was on channel 11 or channel 4, either one. All I know is I was on a harmonic of that channel, so that's why it's coming in funny. It wasn't until later in the video I discovered I was on the wrong channel, and then it got really clear. I'm like, oh, because I didn't have the tuner dial on there. All right, right here I'm just going through the SAMs. There's also a horizontal frequency coil right next to the oscillator tube, and I want you to jumper it out like I did there. Adjust it, and you adjust the course adjustment. I got that all perfect. But anyhow, look, see how I'm adjusting the course adjustment? It was much worse than that. I had like, I don't know, maybe 4 images of that circle on there. So it was running pretty slow. It was not, right there, you saw it for a brief second. There was like several images of it. That's what it was doing when I first put an image on and first powered it up. It was just the horizontal hold adjusted. And that gap at the bottom, you'll see it in the later video. I have to adjust the centering magnets around the yoke. That's what's causing that. Yeah, and I'm just trying to show what I was just telling you about, how to put a clip across the let's see, L22, and that worked out just fine. But that said, I had this TV fully up and running and adjusted within 30 minutes from the first power up. And here's after discovering I had it on the wrong channel. I was on a harmonic of that channel. Where I did that, the picture got a lot of contrast, and it got really sharp and clear. And I think there I had to tweak the vertical hold. I think that's what I was doing right here. Yeah. So yeah, now I got it on the proper channel. Let me see, the internal adjustment, what am I changing there? That's the linearity, I think, for that. Okay, that, I had it stretched a bit. That's not correct. Anyways, I ended up fixing that later on when I had the set in the cabinet. All right, let's see. I was experimenting with the focus jumpers in the middle of the screen there, trying to get it right. The normal position in the center was way out of focus. I think the bottom one was not quite there, but close enough. And then the top one was a little past what it should be, but it was really sharp. So here's finally I show the entire underneath of the chassis. Again, so sorry about the videos here. I'm going to work on that in the future. Anyways, I was able to mount all the electrolytics underneath on terminal strips. So they're completely hidden from above. And you know, I left one of the original electrolytics that go up through the chassis up top just for aesthetic reasons. But yeah, it tested bad. Yeah, I was able to mount everything underneath, nice and neat. There's all the work I had done. And I did have to replace all those resistors. They were all, except for that one on the upper left, that 1 meg. I think both 1 megs I'm looking at up there were both acceptable, but I had to lift the leg anyways, so I changed them just for peace of mind. Now I know there's nothing tolerance or going to go out of just a peace of mind thing. You don't worry about it. It's no big deal. So one last look at the chassis from above. I just used my wire wrapping tool on all those. So that's where everything ended up in the end. Oh yeah, and the light guide for the pilot light is a 1/2 inch diameter model rocket body tube, if I can say that correctly. Right there, I was going to put a silicone grommet right there, but it was the wrong size, so I'm just making sure the horizontal lead isn't touching it for now. So, solution for these feet on the brackets there. I see right now they rub down to the bare metal in spots. I would just gouge up a wood surface. So we had to fix that. So what we did, we used some black plasti dip, and we were able to carefully make a new foot for it like that the best we could. That's the underneath, the metal cover on the bottom. And there's the plasti dip right there. Yeah, it took quite a few layers to get it right, but now I can safely put it down and everything will be good. Won't hurt furniture. So here's all the components changed. Well, wouldn't you know, right after I had everything all buttoned up and it worked fine, second time I turned on, the pilot lamp burned out. Probably the original one to the set. So we ordered number 44 6.3 volt bayonet style bulbs. Now I gotta replace it. Yeah, the whole chassis out just to get to it. I also had to move the focus jumper to that position there. That definitely must have been the wrong bulb that was in there before. This one isn't as bright, even though it is a 6.3 volt number 44, which is what the SAMS calls out. When I first pulled the power on, the other one would like get really bright and then dim. This one was like off, and then it slowly came up with the thermistor, because it's in series with that, with the heater string. So where are we at? I mean, I got the yoke leveled and tightened. It was very hard to do because it's in such a tight space. But what we got to do now is I got to hook this is just a DVD test disc running right there. But I need to get my actual signal generator with the circle on the screen. I'm going to center the image and make sure it's absolutely perfect. I had this TV on for a few hours the other day. No hiccups. It works fine. Brand new laminator that just came yesterday. laminate the original stickers that fell off before I reattach them. This was tough to do because those other stickers there are hard as a rock. Hope it flattens it out so it looks nice. Oh, success. It flattened them out too. All I have to do then is trim it and re-glue it. There, now these two are actually stuck together with glue still. But yeah, now the original labels are preserved. And there's the labels glued back in the TV again. That's the exact spot they were. There's nothing else to do internally other than put the back on. We're done. Except for one little thing, that's adjusting the centering magnets on the picture tube yoke. I will be accomplishing that by using my needle nose pliers, like so, in the notches and rotating till we get it perfect. And I can put the yoke, or I can put the CRT cover back on. That's it. Nothing else to do on this. Alright, here's the tube layout sticker. The stickers that are still in place you don't want to mess with because try to move them, you're going to tear them. In the case of those, like, they just simply fell off. Some of those are highlighted and circled. Original back is on. Not the original screws, but the same type of screw. They were mismatched screws, and they were only like 4 of them. Now I have all 8 of them on the back. Let's see. 180 watts. Interlocked. Original power cord in excellent shape, and I tested it, it's fine. Alright, let's do the final thing with the yoke. Now, the other day when I fired it up, I just did a very quick adjustment of those centering magnets, and somehow it's perfect. I haven't even put this test pattern on yet to see how I did. But yeah, it does bend a little right there. I think it might be that horizontal linearity magnet doing that, but it's as good as it gets. It's not noticeable when watching normal programming. But yeah, I'm gonna put the cover back on, and let's go from there. So I was absolutely amazed. This has got to have been, I thought I was going to be running a whole mess of problems. Nope, 30 minutes and this thing was up and running. And just a little bit more tweaking after that. This has got to be the easiest thing I've done. I was absolutely amazed. These are supposed to be troublesome, and it was like perfect. Couldn't be happier with that. So I'm going to try to do a video on this, demonstrate it, and again, sorry about any noise because it's 90 degrees here in Fahrenheit, that is, and it's also been raining, so the dehumidifier is running down here in addition to the furnace on high speed. That's why it's rather noisy down here. Hopefully the microphone is blocking that out. I have 2 microphones going. one on me, one on the TV, as you might see. And one more thing, I know it looks bad. In the middle of finally finishing the basement, in fact, there's a door right here. There's a wall right there, but then it's open right there, so that's where the furnace is. But in a couple weeks, I will be... So, another week or two, and I should be able to get back on that and get this finished before winter. So, here we go, demonstrating the Philco Predicta. Now, remember I said power switch is bad. And again, watch the pilot light on the tuner when I go to plug this in. So, original power cord. See how it very slowly came on? The other one like was glowing white, and then it got slowly dim right there. That's what it's supposed to do. The other one got like white before it calmed down. Everything spools up, and it's completely solid. That's it. It warmed up nice and steady.
Your host tonight is...
Yes?
How did do? Excuse me, ma'am, but I'm Calvin Burnside. That's with a big B. And we've come here to pick up your little old television set.
My television set?
Yeah, this is 9999 Morningside Drive, Apartment L, isn't it?
Yes, but...
Well, we got an order to pick up a set here, honey child.
Well, I guess my husband called you from the office and forgot to tell me.
Husband, huh? Where's the set, madam?
Right in here.
How come all married women have got husbands?
There it is. It's got TV, a tape recorder, FM, AM, hi-fi, record changer, monaural, and stereo.
You know, it makes me self-conscious being in a room with a machine that's smarter than I am.
Well, I have to go shopping now. You will be careful, won't you?
They calls me Careful Calvin.
Don't worry about a thing, lady. Nice-looking gal there, Calvin.
Yeah, she looks like a toothpaste tube that's been squeezed in all the right places.
Never mind that. You get a grip on the set there, and I'll be right with you. Well, I knew television was getting pretty crummy, but I didn't know it had sunk this low.
It's me. This order here.
Now, I got this in. Now, you go around, lift up your end.
Okay. Alley-oop. Keep coming.
Watch where you're going. I can't see over this thing.
Wait a minute. Something just shook hands with my backbone.
That must be the doorknob. Open it up and we'll get this thing out in the hall.
Keep coming.
All clear, 4 and F. Easy now.
Oh, hold it, Colonel.
What's the matter?
We backed ourselves into a closet. I can't see my face in front of my hands here.
Well, feel around for the doorknob.
Yeah, I'll feel around and I got it. Show is cold.
Get your hand off my nose, will you?
I thought that was kind of wet for a doorknob.
Oh,
What?
there is no doorknob. Listen, Calvin, we got to get out of here. Now stand aside, dummy. I'm going to get a running start at that door. 1, 2,
I just found
3.
doorknob.
Calvin, what are you trying to do to me? If I mess up this job, Maggie Bell and her sister are going to book me into the Faxi ward for an unlimited engagement.
I wonder if Ed Sullivan got this bruised up learning television.
Oh, shut up and let's go here. All right, keep coming. I'll keep coming. I'll hold it. There's the stairs.
Yeah, they is mighty steep stairs. It's going to take us a long time to get this big set down that Grand Canyon.
Nothing to it, Calvin. We'll have it down in a jiffy. Now, I'll go first. All right, keep coming. I'll keep coming.
I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. You know, Colonel, it didn't take us as long to get down here as I thought it would.
You big dummy, look at that pile of junk.
Yeah, that is the loosest TV set I've ever seen. I don't think Mr. Harold's gonna.
Okay, now on the opposite end of the spectrum, it's not completely modern, but a few years old, and I just want to say, play Fallout 4. No, we don't play that. We play GTA and we pimp our rides, and I'll introduce you to how we pimp our rides. Just that. Oh yeah, here we go. No, I don't want to be delivered yet. Oh, nice! Look at this thing! Yeah, forget about Betty's. This thing's the shit. Look at that. Now I'm gonna go race it in the Pimp Canal. Weight reduction. Sorry about the glare from the lighting. It's the best I can do. Oh my! Nice! Wait, how many sparks flying? No, don't leave me, Pip Train. Nice. Look at this ride. Emerson would be proud. But we're not done yet. Oh wait, there's another pimp wedge I could go to if I can beat the train. Well, I think that's enough. But ladies and gentlemen, that's how you pimp a ride. Look at that sweet thing. You really get some street cred with that thing. Oh no, it's wedged into the fence. It may be game over.
Herman, you're back already.
So, about that, here's what the TV looks like turning off. And that's it. So what to expect in the future for television restorations? Well, here's another one on my bucket list. A Sylvania Halo Light. The Halo Light sort of works, but the TV itself is dead and missing both speakers. Yes, it has 2 speakers and it's missing them. But the rest of it is complete and should be worthy of a restoration. This one came from Das Wolf. Thank you so much. Also notice a pattern here of where these came from. So on that note, thanks for watching. The pimp train. Time to pimp. Oh, damn it. I over pimped it.